let me just put it this way. We can refer to the three elements here that comprise the principles of transmission, conversion, and storage. So first, a thought comes to us, okay? Sattva. Second, the idea undergoes the conversion process, and whatever level of consciousness we're at will affect how the idea is handled and what will result from the final step, okay? And by the way, don't look at this as like a negative thing necessarily. Just see reality as it is. Just see things as they are, and it will make more sense. And of course, the third is storage, which means the storage is the end result of the idea. And it's the end result of the transmission and conversion process. And of course, storage needs, we need some sort of container in which our work can exist, we can exist, right? The art can exist, whatever it is we create, okay? This fundamental view it's not to denigrate the physical world or dwell on the negative, but merely to see things as they are. The reality of existence is that, objectively, in the great cycle of time, we are in the Kali Yuga, which is a dark age. Let's be honest about that. But look around you and you will see that this is indeed the case. It doesn't mean that there isn't beauty and truth and wisdom in the world, because there very much is. But let's see things how they are. So this is what Lynch is pointing out in his work. See the world as it is, and only then, only by raising your consciousness can you actually do something about it. Now, I can prove this theory exactly how David Lynch, or why he's showing this process. I'm going to show you exactly what he's showing us in the opening sequence now, okay? And it's right here in plain sight. So first is transmission, then conversion, then storage. So first we have the bird, okay? Then the mill, then the sign showing us a town exists here. So let's start with the bird. The bird represents the natural transmittal of spirit, okay? Birds are always associated with transit, with the spirit, okay? With thought forms and that sort of thing. So in other words, the unconscious processes at work in the unified field of existence emanate from pure source. And so this bird on the branch, okay, this is where it all starts. It starts with the unconscious processes of transmission or the eternal source, okay? Now, these thought forms come into being in the human and are converted by the will or desire, okay? And the union of intuition or thought forms and the intellect. So there's many ways to express this. And finally, this conversion process is contained in the manifest world of forms we refer to as the physical world. In this case, we're shown a still image of the town of Twin Peaks road sign. Now, the road sign shot is a completely still image, by the way, which indicates we have finally arrived at the fixed realm of Thomas, okay, which is the storage aspect. And also we could say that's the world of illusions, okay? So first, in the way it's shot, if you go and watch the opening credits, in the way it's shot, the bird fades into the conversion process. You have transmission fading into conversion. You have the conversion process happening. You have the mill, the machines, and then the machines fade into this static image of a town, of the sign, okay? And we have this, and it's telling us, here's a town. So that's a finished, that's where the storage is, right? That's where the people live, right? We ourselves are the storage in a sense, and the town is the storage. Everything that's a product of the conversion process is the storage, okay? Now, this is repeated again. And so in case it wasn't clear enough the first time, Lynch repeats the same message a second time in the opening credits, beginning, of course, where the first process stopped with the road sign. But this time it's a little bit different, you see. If you notice here, behind the Twin Peaks sign, we have a power line in the shot, okay? So again, we have transmission. Then the shot immediately fades into a waterfall with, at the top, it resembles a power station. So at the beginning of this fading shot, we have conversion. Okay. Now we have two aspects of convert. Now it's a little more. There's more to this, but I'm simplifying it just to illustrate, what the opening sequence means. But conversion is both a natural process and can be mimicked by man through our technology, or it can be just accomplished through nature. Okay, so both of these things are happening. First with the bird and we're shown it starts with the nature, starts with the natural processes, and then it moves on. Now, yes, we're part of nature, we're human beings, but we also create art, artifice, technology, which are kind of like mimicry, right? So if you notice in the conversion stage, you have the power station, but then you also have the waterfall. Okay, so it's almost as if the man-made conversion then we're moved over back to the natural conversion. So, and then of course the storage, of course, is the waterfall, all the water coming into this, this looks like a river or the water's pulling up in this slow moving river. And I think eventually, it pulls up. And so we have storage. Okay. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting sequence because it starts with nature, okay? It moves through the artifices or the technology of man, okay, with the mill and then the power station. Then it goes back to the waterfall and back to the water, and you can see the trees reflected in the water, so you're back to nature again. So it goes from nature to man and his technology and eventually back to nature. So it's all right there as plain as day. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because when I realized what was actually being shown, a major light bulb went off. Now, let's get into this theme, the three gunas, okay, this transmission, conversion, and storage. I'm going to show you this is happening in season 3. Okay, and you can and by the way, you're going to be able to find this all over the place in Twin Peaks from now on. So if you watch the opening credits from the 3rd season, by the way, I'm not going to show those, but the opening credits from the 3rd season, it's actually done again, just from a different perspective. Okay. Now, if what I just showed you remains a little bit too nebulous, okay, then it can be demonstrated much more clearly from the bewildering episode 8 from The Return entitled God of Light, right? Great episode. Fantastic. Wonderful. Beautiful. Scary. All of it together. Amazing. So I'm going to get into this. So once you see things as they are, it really becomes perfectly clear what's happening. Okay, so let's look at the sequence here to prove what I'm saying. First, we're told, we see some text on the screen that we're looking at White Sands, New Mexico, which is, of course, when the world changed forever with the atomic bomb. And even before, we're shown, even before that, we are shown a black screen, okay? It starts at a black screen. And there's a scene before that where Evil Cooper, let's say, is being consumed by these dark characters. Okay, I'm not going to go into that one, but just keep looking, and you'll see this transmission. You will see this theme very clearly. Okay, transmission, conversion, storage. You're going to see this. Okay, there's a lot I can say about this, but I won't. I want you to see these things and start pulling this stuff out. Okay. But this time, we're going to see something a little bit different. I'm going to point out what's different about it, because it's contrary to the natural processes that we saw in the opening theme of the 1st season. Okay. Now, first, of course, we have transmission. A countdown over a radio is heard. Okay. It counts down from 10. and then a radio static. We hear some sort of radio click, and then boom, the conversion happens. And it's kind of a nuanced process. It's kind of a nuanced thing because this is almost the point. The screen is totally white. This is a little bit after, like split second after it. The screen's totally white. So it's almost, we have this nuanced play between transmission and conversion as well. I'm not going to get too far into that. But the conversion happens and the screen goes white, and as it, kind of settles down, we're flying into a mushroom cloud of this atomic bomb explosion, right? As we fly into the cloud, just as we fly into the cloud, we're shown white. We're shown this white smoke or something, and then darkness comes in and overtakes the whole thing. Okay, go watch the scene. So something is wrong with this transaction. Something is wrong with this process. The balance has been disrupted, quite obviously. Remember, this is a destructive process precipitated by man and his technology in the ongoing war that we have against nature, of course. So, and also it's accurate to say that this represents an illusion that we're steeped in. Okay, and I do apologize if some of these screenshots are going to be are dark. Or on the dark side. I do apologize for that. So next, after we see this cloud of white and then the black overtaking it, we're brought into this seemingly chaotic and discordant conversion process, which lasts quite some time. So starting from the upper left and then just moving across, these are the major stages. These are what appear to be the major stages of this conversion process. Okay. And it seems to simulate the motion, to me anyway, this is just my interpretation, of course, all of this is, it seems to simulate the motion of water and the waterfall, similar to the opening credits, but it clearly is not born of natural processes per se. Yes, it's happening, it sort of is a natural process in a way, but it's not, right? And so, at best, it's a contrivance or an artifice brought into being. It's a destructive artifice brought into being through the conversion process of a lower level of consciousness. So this is what we're being shown. Now, this image here is among the last of this particular sequence of conversion, and it's showing us. This is like this fire, and then the color fades from it. Okay, and this is very, very important because this is like just moments before the screen fades to black. So we're basically being shown that the conversion process is over. And the very next shot is of the convenience store, which is storage. How convenient. Now do you understand? Are you starting to see the pattern emerge here? This is one of my favorite parts of this episode simply because how they play with light, sound, time, and space with all the characters walking around. It conveys a sense of the world we live in and its relationship with the other aspects, the interplay of transmission, conversion, and storage. So really, there is a 3-in-1 Trinitarian aspect happening here in this scene. Notice it's mostly dark, and then as this scene progresses, there's more light starts to flicker here and there, and then you have some dark human characters, right? These creepy characters that are lumbering about aimlessly, right? It perfectly describes the state of the world, and it's just pure genius.